Well, it's time for another episode of Chillin' with Van Dillen, where Fox Weather's very own Bob sits down and has a chat with some of the most interesting figures in weather and beyond. This week, he had the chance to speak to meteorologist Ben Luna, a man so dedicated to his Tennessee community that he built his own broadcasting company to provide them with the best weather coverage around. Check it out.
All right, today I have the pleasure of speaking to Ben Luna, the owner of the Tennessee Valley Media Group. He's also the owner and managing meteorologist at Tennessee Valley Weather. Mr. Luna, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure to talk to you, sir.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me from beautiful Lawrenceburg, Tennessee on this fine day.
It's not so great when you live in the Northeast this time of year, Ben. I think you heard us talking about it before. Sunset's around 4:30 this time of year, but down there, it's beautiful. It's like the land of milk and honey.
Actually, that is the motto of a nearby tourism agency, the land of milk and honey. It's a beautiful place. I'm from here originally, born and raised, and it's awesome to be able to be here and do what I do for that land of milk and honey.
Yeah, you know what? Working in your hometown has to be great. Let's start from the beginning. How did you get to where you are right now with your love of weather?
I have always been fascinated by weather. And I guess about 4 years old, I remember watching a Nashville market meteorologist, and I thought, I don't know what he's doing, but I want to do that when I grow up. And stayed with that all the way through elementary school, middle school, which where I'm from here in Lawrence County, Tennessee. That's also home to Tennessee's only F5 tornado.
Right.
And that happened when I was about 12 years old, and that reinforced what I wanted to do. And from there, I went to work when I was 14 in local radio, made a career of that through high school, college, and then after college, I went to work in Huntsville for a while in television as a weekend meteorologist, had a wonderful time.
Pretty amazing. And you talk about that tornado. It was F before the EF scale was introduced. It was 1998, right? The forgotten F5, I think they called it.
That's right. It was an F5 tornado that occurred about 4:30 in the afternoon on April 16th of 98. And I was a 12-year-old kid watching on television. This was happening in real time, just actually about 4 miles from where I lived. And I was like, this is amazing. And then the aftermath of that storm, the same year we went through a 500-year flood in Lawrenceburg. We had a drought and an ice storm that year as well. So 98 was kind of the make or break year for me in meteorology to say, hey, I'm all in on this going forward.
And you're in a perfect spot right now for Tennessee too, right? Because you're not in that Nashville area. You're not really in Huntsville. You're in an underserved area is what I'm thinking, south middle part of Tennessee. So you decided to form that Tennessee Valley Media Group. How did that happen?
So there was an unwarned EF1 as part of a QLCS event that moved through here in 2020, February 5th of that year. And which we knew that there was a tornado potential within that. But yes, we do straddle both the Nashville and Huntsville markets. And we also have suffered from a major weather radar gap.
Yeah.
And so that night we didn't see, because of low level coverage non-existent around here as far as radar goes, that there was a quick spinning low end tornado that was driving right through town. It ripped the roof of our library, did a considerable amount of damage to several homes right in the middle of town. And that night I felt hopeless. And I sat back in my chair and I thought, which we were on the air on radio at the time, but I thought, you know, something has to change. People have to be able to carry weather information with them wherever they go. And just because we're in a rural area of Tennessee and Alabama doesn't mean that people don't deserve top market coverage.
100%.
And so we started in the back room of the radio station that I worked at. And from there, we paved the way of where this is now and what we do. We were able to raise enough funding that we've purchased a lower power X-band Doppler radar. And that's helped some with that, but we're working on another project to hopefully fill this radar gap once and for all in this area. And, you know, we'll see what happens next.
It's amazing that you thought you had the wherewithal and the funds, really, to get your own radar to come up there and get the lower levels. Because you're right, you're triangulated where everything is overshooting the tops from Huntsville, from High Top right there, I should say, B&A up there. It's tough. But you're talking about now, you're part of the National Weather Network as well, which it's a recent alignment, right?
So we operate a 24-hour channel that is continuous weather information for our area that services southern Tennessee, North Alabama, and just a little tiny bit of northeast Mississippi.
Right.
We incorporate, of course, radar data, model data for people to look at and see. We do a travel segment, and we also feature our cameras. We have a network of about 35 weather cameras across the aforementioned area, and people really enjoy looking at those. We also ingest feeds from public access cameras like the National Park Service to look at different views from around the country. And so far, that's kind of been a hit. We also have a few other things that we do. We have a segment called the Weather Classroom that's educational, and we also incorporate free film from NOAA and other government agencies of explainers of anything from oceanography all the way to astronomy as well.
Wow, that's amazing, Ben. I'm watching it right there. I was watching it. You've got a team of players, too. How did you recruit the guys that are on your team, the guys and the girls?
Well, my team without them, this would not exist. I am blessed to have some of the absolute best and most talented people in the entire country to work here.
Some of them are young that are coming out now, and they're not going to take the same path that like I did 30 years ago. So what is your advice for a budding meteorologist just out of school that maybe doesn't want to work for the National Weather Service or anything government related?
Stay the course. There are good days and bad days in everything that you do. Some days are better than others, but never be discouraged. Always take comments from others as an opportunity to build and grow. Always keep your faith, always keep your determination, and never be afraid to get dirty. If you want to be successful, you got to be willing to work and work hard, and sometimes even get a little dirty doing it.
It's so well said. You have to do 100% and then above that. If you really want to succeed, you got to do more than what they ask you to do, no question. Ben, I got a couple of, to pull us out, I've got a couple this or that's for you, and I've tailor-made them just for you guys out there in South Central and South Middle Tennessee. How about that? All right. Okay, how about this one? The first one I like to ask you, because you live in the South, you're from the South. Would you rather predict severe weather or predict snow?
Oh, severe weather all day, any day. Absolutely.
Okay, because it's...
we are in the heart of the Southern Tornado Alley here, and it's... ironically, it's actually some days easier to do that as opposed to snow in the South because, this is why I look the way that I do. I had a full head of hair before last winter.
Listen, I worked in Atlanta and Charlotte, and I know the exact deal. Trying to get that I-20 is usually the band of snow or rain, so very hard to predict that across the South with winter weather. Absolutely, well put. Okay, Memphis sweet or North Carolina vinegar barbecue?
Oh, Memphis sweet, absolutely. Memphis is right down the road from here. That's speaking ill if you don't pick that and you're in Tennessee.
You have to stick with a home state, right? All right, Opryland or the Bass Pyramid in Memphis?
Opry Mills is great. I've been to Bass Pros across the entire Southeast, so I feel like I've got that experience.
Right.
Opry Mills, the Opryland area, truly unique and amazing. So I'm gonna pick Music City, USA.
Very good. All right, last one for you, Ben. Waffle House or Huddle House?
Oh, wow. So our town is finally getting a Waffle House.
Oh, no
it's
way.
almost ready to open. So, all right. I'm going to have to pick Waffle House on that one.
I mean, why not, right? It's the one. It's a staple. Plus, they have that Waffle House index, right, during storms?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've got to get this one broke in, though, before we get into severe weather season for the spring. Because I think after a few of these all-nighters that we pull here at Tennessee Valley Weather, that's going to be where we crash for breakfast before it's over.
I think you're absolutely right. Ben, it's been a pleasure talking to you, my friend. Thanks for taking the time and being on with Fox Weather. I appreciate it. Ben Luna, great job, my friend. Keep up the good work, buddy.